Hello there. Today, I'm going to talk about the life of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's get started. Show notes. When I say 0 BBY, I mean to say 0 years before the Battle of Yavin. Obi-Wan Kenobi was born 57 years before the Battle of Yavin. As a very young child on the planet Stujon, Obi-Wan Kenobi was discovered to be Force-sensitive and taken to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to be trained as a Jedi. After training at the temple as a young boy, he was apprenticed to Qui-Gon Jinn. As Padawan and Master, the duo were assigned to Mandalore to protect the young Duchess Satine from bounty hunters hired by insurgents. This assignment lasted around a year, and in that time, Obi-Wan and Satine fell in love. While he did contemplate forsaking the Jedi Order for her, he eventually decided to remain a Jedi and return to Coruscant. As Obi-Wan was approaching knighthood, he and his master were sent on a mission to Naboo. There they rescued Queen Padme Amidala from the Trade Federation, which was blockading her planet. As they escaped Naboo, their ship was damaged and they traveled to Tatooine. It was here that Obi-Wan's master discovered a young, Force-sensitive boy named Anakin Skywalker. Anakin helped them to repair their ship by winning a pod race. As Qui-Gon and Anakin returned to the repaired ship, Qui-Gon had an encounter with Darth Maul, and Obi-Wan instructed the ship to pick him up before the fight could progress. Once on Coruscant, Obi-Wan was surprised to learn that Qui-Gon thought him ready for the trials, after which he would become a Jedi Knight. Obi-Wan would be replaced as Qui-Gon's Padawan by Anakin. However, this was delayed upon learning that the Queen desired to return to her home. Obi-Wan, along with his master and Anakin, departed with her. The Queen raised an army consisting of aquatic natives of Naboo and took back Theed Palace. In the palace, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon again encountered Darth Maul and engaged in an epic duel. Towards the end of the fight, Obi-Wan watched helplessly through a ray shield as Maul butchered Qui-Gon, his beloved master. Enraged, Obi-Wan dueled Maul ferociously and cut him in half, sending both halves of him tumbling down a shaft. Obi-Wan returned to Coruscant and was granted the rank of Jedi Knight. He convinced Yoda to allow him to train Anakin, as it was his master's dying wish. Obi-Wan began to pass on what he had learned. Obi-Wan grew immensely in power and skill over the years, as did his apprentice. 10 years later, Obi-Wan and his Padawan were assigned to protect Senator Padme Amidala, her reign as queen over. While Anakin left Coruscant and traveled to Naboo with the Senator, Obi-Wan chased down a lead to the outer rim planet of Kamino. There he discovered that Jedi Master Sifo Dyas had placed an order for a clone army 10 years prior, and that it was now complete. Obi-Wan followed bounty hunter Jango Fett, who served as the genetic template for the army, to Geonosis, and was soon captured by Count Dooku, the leader of a secessionist movement known as the Separatists. Anakin and Padme, along with every Jedi who could come, rescued Obi-Wan. A massive droid army threatened to wipe them out, but the clone army, led by Grand Master Yoda, arrived and secured the first victory in what would be known as the Clone War. Soon after that battle, Anakin was made a Jedi Knight. Obi-Wan fought in many battles in the Clone Wars and served alongside clones as general of the 212th Legion. In the later days of the war, Darth Maul, who had not died on Naboo, but had kept himself alive using his hatred and power in the dark side, resurfaced. Along with his brother and apprentice, Savage Opress, he cut a swath of death through the galaxy. Determined to stop him, Obi-Wan traveled to Mandalore, where Maul had taken over with his criminal empire, the Shadow Collective. There he witnessed Maul kill the Duchess Satine, the love of his life. This broke Obi-Wan's spirit. He recovered quickly, however, and escaped with his life. In the final week of the Clone War, Obi-Wan and Anakin were called to Coruscant to help rescue Supreme Chancellor Palpatine from General Grievous, the leader of the droid army. Grievous had launched an all-out assault on Coruscant, and there was a massive space battle in Coruscant's skies. Obi-Wan and Anakin boarded Grievous's ship and encountered Count Dooku. They dueled, and Anakin saved Obi-Wan's life by killing Dooku. They rescued the Chancellor and won the Battle of Coruscant, although Grievous escaped. Obi-Wan soon departed for Utapau, where Grievous was hiding. While his clone army attacked the Separatist troops, Obi-Wan dueled and killed Grievous. The war was over. However, back on Coruscant, Palpatine had revealed himself as Darth Sidious to Anakin, and turned him to the dark side. Darth Sidious executed Order 66. Anakin and his troops stormed and butchered every Jedi in the Jedi Temple. And all across the galaxy, clones turned on their Jedi generals and gunned them down without a second thought. Obi-Wan was shot by a laser blast, which, while not fatal, caused him to fall in a lake. This was fortunate, however, as the clones assumed him dead. Obi-Wan returned to Coruscant in secret and met with Yoda, the only remaining Jedi beside himself that he knew of. Obi-Wan and Yoda fought their way into the Jedi Temple. Obi-Wan directed a beacon to warn possible Jedi survivors away. On his way out, however, he examined security footage and discovered that Anakin, whom he loved as a brother, had become Darth Vader. Yoda told him that they must destroy the Sith. While Yoda went to fight Sidious, a battle he would ultimately lose, Obi-Wan departed for Mustafar as a stowaway on Padme's ship, whom he had discovered was carrying Anakin's child. As Padme pleaded with Anakin, he became angry and used the Force to choke her. Obi-Wan appeared and commanded Anakin to let her go. Anakin did so, and the two engaged in a duel, the likes of which the galaxy had never known before. Anakin's aggressive nature resulted in him losing 3 limbs and stranded on a lava riverbank. Obi-Wan told Anakin that he loved him. Anakin, with eyes glowing yellow, replied that he hated him. Disgusted and heartbroken, but unwilling to kill Anakin, Obi-Wan walked away while Anakin screamed in agony and hatred. Obi-Wan left Mustafar with Padme and met up with Yoda and Senator Bail Organa on Polis Massa. There he witnessed Padme give birth to not 1 but 2 children, and then die of a broken heart. Knowing that the children would be Force-sensitive, Obi-Wan and Yoda decided to hide them. Senator Organa would take Leia and raise her on Alderaan, while Obi-Wan would take Luke to his only relatives, his uncle Owen Lars and Aunt Beru on Tatooine. Obi-Wan would stay on Tatooine in exile. Yoda also would go into exile, but before he left, he met with Obi-Wan one last time, to inform him that he had training for him to complete on Tatooine. His old master Qui-Gon Jinn had discovered a way to manifest himself after death, and Obi-Wan was to learn this technique also. Obi-Wan delivered Luke to his family and went into exile on Tatooine. Not much is known about what he did in this time. Approximately 2 years before the Battle of Yavin, he was visited by Ezra Bridger, a young Jedi apprenticed to Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus. However, Bridger had unintentionally led another to Obi-Wan, Maul. Ezra departed, and Obi-Wan stayed behind to deal with Maul. They engaged in a duel and traded 3 blows, the last of which proved fatal to Darth Maul. He died in Obi-Wan's arms. In Zero BBY, he drove off a band of Tusken Raiders about to kill Luke. He took him to his home, where Luke showed him a hologram from Leia, who said that Obi-Wan was her only hope. Obi-Wan then told Luke that his father had been a great Jedi and a pupil of his, but that another pupil of his, Darth Vader, had turned to the dark side and murdered Luke's father. Obi-Wan journeyed with Luke, Han Solo, and Chewbacca in the Millennium Falcon to Alderaan, or rather, what was left of it. During the journey, Obi-Wan provided Luke with basic Jedi training. They were captured on board the Death Star after emerging from hyperspace to find Alderaan destroyed. Obi-Wan went to disengage the tractor beams, while the others rescued Leia. When returning to the ship, Obi-Wan encountered his old Padawan, Darth Vader. The two fought, and in order to let the Falcon escape, he allowed himself to be struck down. Obi-Wan's story did not end on the Death Star, however. He encouraged Luke to use the Force, and by doing so, Luke succeeded in destroying the Death Star. He appeared to Luke on Hoth and instructed him to seek out Yoda for further training. When Luke returned to Yoda, after learning that his father was Darth Vader, Obi-Wan talked with him and informed him that he needed to confront Darth Vader to become a Jedi Knight. Finally, after Luke had redeemed Vader, resulting in his death and that of the Emperor. He appeared to Luke alongside Yoda and Anakin. And that's the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to share this episode with your friends and like us on Facebook. Until next time, may the Force be with you. Always.